red, dented, the kind of gas can that had been in continuous use for decades. He shook it. It sloshed with what sounded like a meaningful amount of fuel. Okay, I said. Thank you. We started walking toward the truck. He stopped. You see that? He said. He was looking at the windmill. I looked. The windmill was turning in a slow, even circle. A simple, old-fashioned farm windmill, galvanized steel, maybe 30 feet tall. The windmill? I said. No, he said. The snake, in the windmill. I looked at the windmill again. I looked carefully. There was no snake in the windmill. There was also nothing in the windmill except the mechanism of the windmill. I looked at him. He was looking at the windmill with an expression of genuine and troubled concern, the expression of a person who sees something and wishes they didn't. Then he looked at me, and he took my expression, which was a controlled cocktail of what, and please don't be dangerous, as an agreement. I know, he said solemnly. I'm writing a book about it. A beat. About the snake, I said. About all of it, he said, and he turned and walked to the truck. We drove back out. The gas can sat in the bed of the truck, clanking over the washboard. The old man drove with one hand on the wheel, the compass spinning on the dashboard. After a while, he began to talk. Not about snakes, not about windmills, about his life. It came out in the way that speech comes out of people who haven't had anyone to say things to in a long time. Not all at once, not dramatically, but in pieces. Each one offered carefully, like he was checking to see if the weight of it would be too much for the conversation before giving me more. He'd been out here 10 years, he said, give or take. I said something like that's a long time to be out here alone. He shrugged. Needed to decompress, he said. A decade is a long decompression, I said. He made the head tilt again. That's a complicated question gesture. Things were complicated, he said, and then after a pause, like he was deciding something. My wife got sick. I didn't say anything. Sometimes the best response is silence. Cancer, he said. Slow kind, worst kind. You have time to see everything coming and there's nothing you do about it. He said this without self-pity, which somehow made it worse. I had a business. Small thing, but it was mine. Couldn't run it and be with her at the same time. So I shut it down. You chose her, I said. There wasn't a choice, he said, with a kind of firmness that closed the door on any other interpretation. There was her, and there was everything else. Everything else could wait. He told me her name was Dolores, that she was from Sonora, the Mexican state, not the desert. They had met when he came down on a job in his 30s, and she had been working at a restaurant near the job site. That she had laughed at something he said before he'd even meant to be funny, which was how he knew. That they had 23 years. He said 23 years, the way you say a number that both is and isn't enough. After, he said, and he used after as a standalone word, a complete sentence, a period on a paragraph. I couldn't be around all the things we'd built, the house, the stuff, people who'd known us both. He paused. A friend had this land. Let me use it. I came out here to think and just stayed. We were back on the highway now, the pavement smooth under the tires.